Welcome to Gentle Yoga. This will be 45 minutes of really awesome practice. And my name's Kat. As always, let's get started in child's pose. So bring your knees out to the edges of your mat, big toes to touch, and slowly melt down your upper body down onto the ground. Forehead to mat, making connection with your elbows, your forearms, and your hands. Close your eyes here and just take a few moments to ground yourself in your practice. Welcome to your Sunday morning yoga. We're going to be opening up into our body, saying hello to our muscles and tendons. So take a second here to reset, clear your mind of any anxieties or stresses or expectations. And just be present with yourself on this mat right here and now. If you're not feeling a lot of pressure in your inner thighs, you can begin to spread them out a little further. You want to create just a little bit of tension, sinking your butt a little closer to your heels. Let's take 3 sealing breaths together as a class to ground in and start our Sunday morning. Inhale through your nose, get nice and tall. Your back will rise and expand. And then exhale, sink a little lower into the mat. Inhale, again, feel your spine change and elongate. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Last one, let's try this one as an ujjayi. So take one big inhale through your nose, get nice and long, maybe even reach your fingertips a little more forward. Seal your lips at the top, exhale through your nose. Nice and quiet. Beautiful. From here, slowly move your hands to the top right corner of your mat. So you feel a lovely stretch in your shoulders and your left side obliques. Just breathing gently into the first stretch of class. Taking note of what parts are feeling a little more tension today. Nice. And when you're ready, slowly crawl them back to center and then to the left side of your mat, top left corner. Feeling it in your right side obliques, right side shoulder. Beautiful. One more breath here. And then bring them back to center, resetting here. Come up onto your palms and then have a seat at the top of your mat in whatever crisscross applesauce is my preference. And we'll do the same thing from a seated position. So slowly crawl your hands forward, melting your head, neck, and shoulders down. This time we're adding a little bit of a glute stretch here with our legs crossed as so. Release the neck a little more. Can you reach a little further? Breathing deeply. Connecting back to something beyond this one moment. From here, slowly crawl your fingertips to the top right edge of wherever you're sitting. Feel this extend into the left side body this time. Maybe reach a little further than you did in a child's pose, making sure the only thing that's working are your arms. Nothing stored in your face or your neck. When you're ready, slowly crawl them back to center and then all the way to the left side as we did before. Can you go even a little more left, a little even further forward? This feels really good. Maybe even close your eyes, enjoy the stretch. It's so simple, so rewarding. And then crawl back to center, hold the center pose one last time for a few breaths. Can you reach even further? This is the last reach portion of class. And then when you're ready, crawl back up to have a seat at the top of your mat. Bring your hands by your hips, behind your thighs, and with all your strength, lift your hips off the ground, keeping your feet on the ground. And then lower. So you're using your shoulders and crunching forward just to lift your hips a few inches off the ground and then setting them back down. See how this awakens your back, your core, your shoulders. You're using all these muscles just to lift yourself a few inches. If you're looking for an additional challenge, and I would not call this a gentle yoga practice, but you can try lifting your legs off the ground for just a few seconds and setting them back down. I see my mom laughing, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to keep my legs back down. Anyway. Take two more just to warm up, get ourselves a little blood flowing. And then come and swing your feet behind you and come to stand on your knees. Shoulders over hips, hips over knees. So you're just creating a flat body here. Bring your arms above your head like you're in mountain pose from the waist up. Send your shoulders down, round your pinkies in so your triceps are fired up. Then from here, drop your right hand behind you and slowly begin to tilt your chest forward and back, creating a back bend, maybe so much so that you can use your right hand to grab your right ankle, foot, or shin. And if it just hovers above your right leg, that is totally okay. The goal here is just to create a beautiful back bend. Make sure to engage your glutes to avoid dumping anything nasty into your lower back. This is a really intense back bend, especially for the beginning of class, so take it nice and slow. Take it easy, be gentle on yourself. Maybe even look up to the ceiling, tilting your chin up so you feel nice, tall, and proud. And then slowly come back up to stand on your knees, arms meet in this neutral mountain pose position. Then drop your left arm down nice and slow and slowly push your hips forward, your chest up, so much so that you can maybe make contact with your hand and leg. Just trying to balance out our practice here. This feels really good, almost overwhelmingly good, so take breaks as you need. And if you can't make connection, it's that's just how your body's reacting today. Make no mind of it. One more breath here. Maybe look up to your hands. And then slowly come back to stand. Arms meet in this neutral mountain pose. Option to stay here, or option to take both arms behind you. Maybe making connection with one arm first and then looping the other one around. And sending your chest forward for the double arm back bend, looking forward. Especially engage your butt here to avoid the lower back being harmed. Just here for 4, 3, come to have a seat on your feet in 2 and 1. Slowly rise up and then sink immediately back down on top of your feet. Bring your hands to your thighs, closing your eyes. Maybe you bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. And just take a few breaths here to reconnect back to yourself. Those heart openers are really, really overwhelming, especially to start a class with such an intense one. It can be a lot. It can bring up emotions or discomforts or something we're not used to. So make connection with your body here and thank it for exploring something new, being a little more vulnerable. Nice. Option to keep your hands here on your belly and your heart, or option to bring them back down onto your thighs, preparing for some 3-part breathing. Another option here is to curl your toes under. I don't know if you can see mine, to activate a little bit of a toe stretch. I'll keep my toe stretch for probably the first 30 seconds and have to ditch it because it gets to be too much. But let's close our eyes here in whatever form your arms or feet are in. And begin the 3-part breathing from the bottom. So exhale any stale air. And then we inhale 3 seconds from our lower abdomen for 3, 2, 1. Inhale from the middle for 3, 2, 1. From the upper chest, inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold to the top for 3, 2, 1. Big exhale from the top for 3, 2, 1. Middle ribs for 3, 2, 1. Lower belly for 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. Big inhale from the lower for 3, 2, 1. Middle for 3, 2, 1. Upper for 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 3, 2, 1. Exhale at the top for 3, 2, 1. Middle ribs, 3, 2, 1. Lower belly, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. And take your own breath here on your own time and meet me at the bottom in a few seconds. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly blink your eyes open, reacquaint yourself with the room. Maybe you see your whole space with a little more lightness, a little more softness. Let's take a slight twist to the right. Twist to the right, bringing your arm behind you, using your left hand to open your chest to the right. Maybe even look behind your right shoulder, keeping your shoulders stacked on top of your hips, creating a flat spine while also twisting. Pretend like you're a towel just squeezing out all the water, all the stress or the tension. And then flip to the other side, swing your arms forward and then to the left, looking behind your left shoulder. Again, keep your chin nice and high. Just by tilting your chin a little higher, we bring a sense of confidence to our practice that feels really, really powerful. Big breaths here to slowly cool down from those intense heart openers. One more breath here. Twist a little deeper. And then relax, come back to center. Meet me at tabletop pose. Bringing your hands to your mat, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Preparing for some wrist exercises. If you have your own wrist exercises, do those. But I'm going to start by rotating my fingers 90 degrees to the right and left, facing the long edges of my mat, and then rotating left and right to begin waking up into my wrists. Wrist mobility is super important, especially for those of us who spend hours and hours on our computer every day, or even just have a regular yoga practice. And then twist them 90 degrees again towards your knees. And this time, rock and roll vertically. If you're looking for a little extra, you can even peel your palm or the heel of your hand off a few inches as you rotate back, if you are a little more flexible in your wrists today. But every day is different, so just listen to your body without judgment. And then if this is starting to feel good, you're feeling nice and open, you can flip them one more time so your palms are facing up and your fingers are facing one another, and take little circles here. This one feels super good right now. I was playing a lot of volleyball and so my forearms are super sore for some reason. My hands. Ooh. Take circles or rock and roll left and right, whatever feels good. And feel free to come back to wrist stretches anytime in your practice that you're feeling a little bit of harm in your wrists. Super important to begin your yoga practice by letting some of this go. Nice. When you're ready, flip the palms into neutral tabletop pose. Bring your left hand to the center of the mat. Reach your right arm nice and high towards the sky. Let's hold this little simple twist here for a second. Bump your hips left because they probably bumped to the right. Meanwhile, you're moving your right shoulder as far behind you as you can. Maybe you bend into the elbow, the right elbow a little bit to open up into the chest. Look up towards your hand. It's also really helpful to use your gaze to help direct your body in the direction you want it to go. I'm also leaning back a little. So maybe shift forward so your shoulder is directly over the wrist. This seems like a really gentle posture, but it actually isn't. There's so many pulling and contrasting movements here that you need to account for. Take one big inhale, get up even taller. Exhale, thread the needle. Slowly guide that right arm in between the left hand and the left leg. Then slowly come down onto the right arm with your upper body. Whatever you want to do with your right hand is fabulous. Some people like to crawl it, or your left hand, excuse me. Some people like to crawl it forward to activate the arm a little. Some people like to take a bind behind the back, or some people like to just keep it kind of flopped down wherever. As long as you're feeling a right shoulder stretch, you're doing this properly. Breathing deeply here. If you're looking for a fun balance challenge, you can begin to shift your weight into your right knee, beginning to straighten the left leg out. So you're on just your left toes. The left knee is off the ground. If this feels accessible to you, you can even begin to rise the left toes off the ground ever so gently. With the left hand on the ground, this is a lot more accessible. Without the left hand on the ground in a bind or something, it's a lot more challenging. Option to skip this too. I'm just giving you fun options to spice up your yoga practice. If you took the leg up, bring the knee back down. Plant the left fingertips back to the center of the mat, preparing for the unwind. Slowly inhale, unwind, reach that right arm nice and high to reset. Exhale, bring the right hand down to meet the left, switching it out. Inhale the left arm high this time. Hold and breathe. Same adjustments here, right? So I'm bumping my hips left by accident, so you have to reaccount for that and bump them to the right. Meanwhile, opening up into the left shoulder by maybe bending into the elbows, breathing a little more deeply. Nice. Take deep breaths here. Maybe look up towards your hand. Is your hand over your shoulder? Do you feel this in your chest? Take one big inhale, keep bumping those hips to the right. And then exhale, slowly bring your arm through for this beautiful shoulder stretch, coming down onto the left shoulder this time. Again, same options with the right hand, maybe reach them forward, maybe take the bind behind your lower back. As long as you're feeling a really beautiful shoulder stretch, that's perfect. Same options for the balancing act here. Maybe begin to shift your weight into your left knee, straightening out the right leg. So you're just on your right toes. If this feels accessible and balance-wise, maybe you can begin to raise the right toes off the mat. This is much more accessible with your right hand on the ground to help sturdy you. If you're looking for even more of a challenge, you can keep the right hand in a bind, the right arm in a bind. So the only thing balancing you is your left arm. And if you fall out of it like me, just come back to center, bring your right knee back to meet the left. We're here for one more breath. And slowly unwind. Plant the right hand at the center of the mat. Come up, inhaling the left arm nice and high to reset the spine. And then exhale, bring the left hand back down into a neutral tabletop pose. Take a few cat-cows here. Inhaling up to cow. Exhaling, rounding forward, looking between your thumbs, puffing up your chest or your back, excuse me, to cat. Take these on your own time. The goal here is just to open up into your middle core, into your back. Match the breath to the movement. Inhaling up, exhaling down. That's the vinyasa part of the class. Exaggerate these movements, so really, really puff up in cat and really, really stretch open in cow. Whew. Nice. And when you're ready, find a neutral tabletop pose and find your way onto your stomach. So straighten out your legs, your whole upper body comes down. We're going to take some T shoulder stretches. So I'm taking my right arm, I'm straightening it and placing it on the mat to my right. Then I'm peeling open to the right by lifting my left shoulder off the mat. Lift, 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 turn, turn, turn. Maybe your left foot even comes behind you. Meanwhile, my right hand, my right arm is in a straight line behind me. So you should feel a really intense right shoulder stretch here. Beautiful. One of my students asked for more shoulder work, so we're here. This is for her. This is a really awesome one. If you want a little more, maybe bring your arm up a little further. Make sure it's in line with elbow, in line with shoulder. One more breath. And then slowly roll back to center, straightening out the left arm this time and rolling to the left side. So slowly peel your right shoulder off the ground. Maybe your right foot makes connection with the mat behind your left leg. Again, the goal is just to open up into your shoulder, even a little bit into your chest. Big breaths here. In these gentle stretches, it's really lovely to just close your eyes and enjoy the stress relief of whatever stretch you're in. We're here for just a few more breaths. Enjoy it, relish in it. And then when you're ready, slowly come back to center, belly to the mat. Bring your hands to the outside edges of your mat and bring your feet to the outside edges of your mat. And then peel, preparing for seal posture, peel your upper body off the ground, engaging your glutes. Your entire lower body is still making connection with the mat. Nice. You use your hands as tripod stands to send your chest forward and up. If this feels easy for you, bring your hands even closer to your hips. And maybe close your eyes here again. Connecting back to your breath, calming your body down. You should just feel this stretch in your core. Feel the bend in your back. Simplify things. Relax your face. Relax your tongue, your jaw, even your neck. Can you get up a little higher? Every time we stay in a posture, it's always recommended to adjust every few seconds now that you're a little more open. I feel this all the way down into my hips. One more breath. And then slowly body roll your upper body back down to the mat. This time, seal your feet together like a zipper to touch, knees, ankles, everything touching. Bring your hands a little closer to your chest, and then you peel up into this aided cobra. So cobra is just like seal, but with feet together. Shining your chest forward, shoulders down your back. Maybe even look up to the ceiling. Remember that chin lift can change a lot about our state of mind. Feeling a little proud in our posture, in our body. Take one big inhale here, and then exhale, slowly body roll down. We're gonna try that again, but this time we're not gonna use our hands. So slowly from here, hover your hands 1 or 2 inches off the ground, and then peel your chest up off the ground. You'll notice that your lower abs are nowhere off the ground without the assistance of our hands. This is a lot harder, but I'm using a lot more upper back strength to peel my chest up, even just a few inches off the ground. This is a more traditional cobra. Again, my feet are zipped together, thighs zipped together. Activate the legs. Can you inch 1 inch higher? Inhale. And then exhale, slowly come back down. Maybe windshield wiper your feet, bend into the knees and rock and roll the feet left and right to let go of some of that lower back work. And this time, create an L with your right hand. So I'm creating an L with my right hand and placing it on the mat. Now I'm peeling my left shoulder open. So we're doing, remember we just did the T shoulder stretch. Now we're doing an L shoulder stretch. So my hand is on line with elbow. And now I'm peeling open to the right side wall, not avoiding my couch. This one's a lot more intense than the T shoulder stretch was. Imagine just bending your elbow a little bit makes this shoulder stretch a lot more a little more extreme, but that's okay because we're a lot more open now. Take a few breaths here with this shoulder opener. Again, you don't want anything to feel too intense, but just a lovely sensation of opening up into your upper body. Nice. And slowly roll back to center, creating that L pose, like the goalpost arms, with my left hand, slowly rolling over onto my left side, peeling my right shoulder off the ground. Again, if you can make that right foot to mat connection, that's great. But make sure you're creating an actual L with that left arm. So maybe even look back, make sure the hand is in line with elbow, which is then in line with shoulder. This one's really intense, but it's one of my favorites. We're here for just 2 more breaths. Nice. When you're ready, slowly come back to center. Plant the palms kind of by the ribs and lift yourself up into upward facing dog. So this time my whole upper body, lower body's off the ground. Knees, thighs, shins off the ground, puffing up my chest. A lot is in the palms of my hand, the heels of my hand. Can you get up a little higher? We've done so many back bends. Engage those glutes, send the hips lower. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, flip the toes, send the chest towards the thighs. Maybe take your dog out for a walk here, bending into one knee, bending into the other. This might be your first down dog of definitely of class, maybe of the day, maybe of the week, of the month, whatever it is. So take a few moments to get reacquainted with the posture. And when you're ready, find stillness. We're going to try 2 down dog extremes to really help you find your down dog. So the perfect down dog distance from hand to feet is so that I have the ability to shift forward into high plank and then shift back into downward facing dog. So that's one quick tip to see the distance between hands to feet. Then take a generous bend in your knees, so much so that your chest can even touch your thighs. This is the most extreme version of down dog, where my heels are lifted far off the mat. My chest is, if not connecting to my thighs, almost touching my thighs. Then shift to the other extreme by completely straightening your legs and see how your upper body moves forward closer to your arms. So your down dog should be somewhere in between those 2 extremes, where there's a slight bend in your knees, maybe your heels rise a little bit. There's also a nice softness to your arms, but also rounding the triceps in closer to your ears, so you activate the arms just a little bit. Beautiful. All right, let's move on from here. Slowly walk your feet up to your hands at the top of your mat and bring your feet right behind your hands so they're hips distance apart. Take a generous bend in your knees. Relax your upper body over your lower body for ragdoll pose. I'm getting sweaty already. Another important factor is to release your neck muscles down. Just to engage your hamstrings, take as big of a bend in your knees as needed. So many beautiful options for your hands here. Some people like to take our hand to elbow grip. Some people like to find a basket grip behind the upper neck or the lower neck for an added upper body stretch. Or maybe you just dangle your hands down. Whatever feels good for you is great for me. Again, this class is just a series of suggestions, so take this as you need, take breaks as you need, modify as you need. This is a really intense stretch. Anytime our head is below our heart, a lot of blood is rushing to funny places, so take big breaths here. If you took a hand grip, switch it out so the opposite hand or fingers are on top, adding some balance into our practice, even in the smallest of ways. Take one big breath here. And then relax your hands down to the mat if they weren't there already. Bring your left hand to the outside or grab your right ankle, the outside of your right ankle, and then twist open to the right side while lifting your right arm above your head. Nice. Take a generous bend in your left knee to make this possible. Maybe even look up to your right hand. Can you sink your chest closer to your thighs while also really bending into the left arm so you're twisting into the right shoulder? Nice. This is a pretty intense one, so we won't hold it for long. Take one more big breath here, twist even deeper. And then exhale, swing your arm back down to the mat, reset. Bring your right hand to the outside of the left ankle and twist open to the left side this time. Nice. Breathing deeply here. Make sure your hips are still in line with your ankles. You don't want to move back left or right. You want to keep them stacked on top here. Maybe even look up to your hand. Can you bring your chest closer to your thighs? Twist even deeper. Use that right arm. Use your strength. One more breath here. Inhale. And then open mouth, exhale. Slowly bring the left hand back down to the mat. Nice. From here, toe heel your feet together, either to touch or just a little bit closer. And rise to stand to mountain pose, one vertebrae at a time. Take a nice big gentle inhale and bring your arms above your head into mountain pose. From here, lift your thighs off of your knees. Engage your core. Bring your shoulders down, triceps in, pinkies in. Maybe from here, take a back bend. Look up, push your hips forward, your chest up. Maybe you want to take the L back bend that we practiced before. Maybe getting a little more into the chest. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center prayer pose and dive forward into forward fold. Hands to the mat. Let's take a few of those rotations. That's our sun salutation for the day all together. So slowly rise up to stand into mountain pose. Big, big inhale. Maybe catch the back bend again here, pushing your hips forward. And then exhale, hands together at the top, prayer pose. Slowly bend and bow forward, chest to thigh. One big inhale to rise again. Welcome in your Sunday morning. Take a big swoop of the arms. Connect the hands at the top for the back bend and then send them forward. Prayer pose. Here it's hands to heart center, forward fold. Again, we rise slowly. Neck is last to look up into mountain pose. Big arms. Connect at the top. Send the hips forward. Look up. Back bend, then forward fold. You're welcome to take this motion at your own pace, maybe staying in one position or another that feels really, really good. Listen to your body. Listening to your body is much more important than listening to your yoga instructor. So take this, whatever version of this works for you today. I'm going to take one more and then meet me at the top of the mat in mountain pose. Beautiful. Mountain pose. Shift your weight into your left leg. Bend into the right arm, right leg, and then grab the right foot with your right hand, releasing maybe the left arm down, just for this really simple thigh stretch. Kicking the right thigh further back, hugging the right foot closer to your body. Beautiful. This is a fun balancing posture, just slowly opening up into our thighs, which is another part of our body that I think gets a little bit underloved in yoga. I feel this all the way up into my right hip as well. Once you feel comfortable here, your balance is good, your thighs a little more open, slowly rotate the right hand so it's hugging the inside of the right foot this time. Bend gently into the left knee and slowly hinge your chest forward just a few inches while also kicking your right thigh up to the sky for dancer's pose. Option to bring your left hand to your heart, option to bring it forward like you're growing your branches of a tree. Wherever you are, keep your hips in line with each other. Your chest is up. This is nothing but a back bend and maybe a little bit of a thigh stretch. If you need to come out of it, come out of it. Shake it out, come back in. I like to find one place for my eyes to rest, my drishti, to help out with the balance. Nice. Kick up 1 inch higher. Yes, you can. Last little bit of work here. And then exhale, slowly release the hand to foot grip. Shake it out. Notice how your right leg feels a little bit lighter than your left. From here, slowly come onto your right foot only, kick into your left knee, grab for the left foot, and just slowly tug back here so you activate that thigh sensation on the left side. This is just preparing you for dancers. This is gentle yoga after all, so you're welcome to just stay in this posture. You're still gonna get a fabulous thigh stretch. But this is just to set you up, to ground you into that right leg, to notice how it feels with your left knee bent so much. And when you're ready and you're feeling a little brave or not, and you want to stay here, that's totally fine. Slowly move your right hand to the inside of your your left foot. All of this is on the left side. From here, slowly bend into the right leg, just gently so we don't hyperextend or overlock our knee. Hinge your chest forward while also kicking the left thigh up, nice, tall, and proud. I like to keep my hand on my heart just to recenter myself, rebalance, connect breath to soul to body. This doesn't have to be something extreme. The goal here is just to create a beautiful back bend while also having a beautiful sensation in our right thigh. You guys look great. Mama, you look good. One more breath here. Can you kick up a little higher, keeping the chest up? And then release down. Bring your foot back to the mat, shake it out, dance it out. Find a basket grip behind your back. So clasp your hands behind your back, puff up your chest, and send your hands a few inches away from your butt to activate the chest here. Bring the toes to touch if you feel very balanced. If you don't, maybe bring them a few inches apart for added stability. And then come into chair pose, keeping the hands exactly where they are, bending into the knees, engaging the core so you avoid a duck butt. It's not about how good your butt looks in this posture, but rather how flat your spine can be. My elbows are hyperextended, so if you are hyperextended too, make sure they don't overlock here. Bend, look down to your feet. Can you still see your toes from behind your knees? Maybe you can even winkle your toes off of the yoga mat. The goal is to have all of your weight mainly in the heels of your feet. Can you sit a little lower while also bringing your arms up a little higher? This is a lot. This is a challenging posture. The lower it is, the harder it is. You also want to keep your chest nice and erect. You want to avoid kind of diving your chest down towards your thighs. You want to sit up nice and tall here. We're here just for 4. Can you sit a little lower? 3, preparing for forward fold with these same basket grip arms in 2 and 1. Forward fold, begin to straighten your legs to your best ability and dive your upper body forward. I'm keeping a little bend in my knees, obviously, because I'm not that flexible yet. So this is a chest, hamstring opener, shoulder opener, a lot of movement here. Take one big breath here. And then slowly dive your arms down to the mat. Plant your hands on the mat and step back into high plank. Option to take an upward facing dog or option to just meet me in downward facing dog. Whatever feels most accessible for you. Nice. Meet me in downward facing dog here. All right, we're about to move a little quickly through this last segment. I took my time in the first half of class, so now we're gonna get a little sweaty. Bring your toes to touch at the center of the mat. Inhale the right leg nice and high. Open, bend, and stretch into that hip by bending into the knee. Maybe you look to the right side behind your right, underneath your right armpit. You should feel this beautiful right hip opener. Nice. From here, slowly shift forward, bring the knee to the nose, and plant the right foot down, preparing for simple twist. Bring your right arm nice and high. Keep the left hand planted here. Option to come down onto the back knee, uncurl the back toes, or option to keep the leg elevated for a little more action here. Two beautiful options, both equally fabulous. One big breath here. Can you sink your hips a little lower, twisting up a little higher? If you weren't down on the back knee, come onto the back knee now. And slowly, keeping your arms where they are, rise to stand on those knees for this kneeling crescent lunge with the twist. So open your arms up to the right side while preparing for a giant bear hug, kind of. So you're really twisting by bringing that right shoulder back behind you. Whew. If you fall out, that's okay. From here, slowly drop the right hand down behind your left thigh and lift the left arm nice and high, sinking even lower into the right or the left hips, both of the hips. Maybe even look up, again, chin up, a little tall and proud. This is beautiful hip opener. I wish we had more time for some hip stuff, especially with someone like me with a tight psoas. And then from here, cartwheel your arms down to the mat, preparing for half splits. Slowly sit back and straighten the right leg, peeling the right toes off the mat, flexing the foot. This is half splits. You should just feel this in your right side hamstring. All right, we're preparing for the most, not challenging, but interesting part of class. Feel free to stay in half splits because the next two postures we're doing are all doing hamstring work. So it's totally up to you how much you want to do. From here, either stay in half splits or jump up onto the right leg for full standing splits, lifting the left leg nice and high, relaxing the upper body down over the lower body. If you're looking for an added balancing challenge, maybe bring your hands to your shins or ankles, or maybe even in a prayer pose, or don't and fall out of it like me. Wherever you are, relax the neck down over the right leg, even if you're still in half splits. If you're feeling comfortable here, option to bend into the left knee and reach your left arm behind you, grab the left foot. Whew, like we practiced in dancers and then that easy thigh stretch posture, and open up your thigh here. This is for another added hip opener, thigh stretch. Also right side hamstring stretch. A lot's happening right now. So option just to stay in half splits, standing splits. So many beautiful choices here. We're not here for long, so dig a little deeper, sit a little lower, sink into this posture, into your fullest expression. And then slowly, if you made the hand to foot grip, slowly relax the left foot down to meet the right. So we're in forward fold at the top of our mats. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins or thighs. Your shoulders are back down behind your back. And then plant your palms, step back, meet me in down dog, however you want to get there. Maybe you do the chaturanga, maybe you do the chaturanga push-ups, or maybe you just meet me in downward facing dog. From here, toes to touch one last time. Inhale the left leg, nice, tall, and proud. Open, bend, and stretch into this beautiful three-legged dog position. Again, feel the amazing sensation happening in your left hip. Gosh, I wish we did more hip work, but that's okay. This is such a beautiful practice. And then when you're ready, slowly hinge forward, hugging the knee to your nose. Plant the left foot between the palms. Keep the right palm on the ground and reach the left arm nice and high for this simple twist. The option to keep the right knee on the ground. So our left arm is high, our right arm is low. Breathing deeply. This is a pretty intense stretch, especially for my left side glutes, but it feels really good. Come out of it as needed. Maybe you come down onto the right knee. Maybe you don't. Stay nice, tall, and proud. Maybe look up to your left hand. Come down onto the left knee if you haven't already. Uncurl the toes and sit up for this giant twisted kneeling crescent here. Sink a little lower into your hips, opening up to the side wall. Feel nice, tall, and powerful. So we're on our right knee. If not, that's totally okay. Whatever feels good for you. The goal here is just to twist. Doing a lot of twisting this class. From here, preparing for kneeling exalted warrior, slowly bring your left arm down behind you, maybe grabbing on to the back of the right thigh, and lift your right hand up even higher, bending up a little for a little back bend into this kneeling crescent posture, opening up the thighs, or sorry, the hips, maybe even send your chin up a little more here. Maybe look up to the ceiling, the sky. One more inch. And then cartwheel your arms forward into the half splits, straightening out the left leg, flexing the left toes to activate the entire left side body. This feels really, really good. I love some hamstring work. And again, before we move on to anything a little more different, you're always welcome to stay in half splits. This is such a great practice. Anytime your back knee is feeling a little bit sore, you can always just curl your yoga mat over itself to create a lovely cushion, maybe bring a pillow or a blanket. Again, option to stay here or option to jump into standing splits by bending deeply into the left leg and lifting the right leg up off the ground all the way up to the ceiling, relaxing your upper body over your lower body here. This is a sweaty posture. So option to stay here, option to practice balancing by maybe even coming up onto one finger of each hand, maybe releasing both hands off the mat to grab for the shins or the ankles. Notice how this side feels a little different than the last side. My balance is not cooperating as well as it did in the opposite side, and that's okay. Ooh, breathe deeply into it. And if you're feeling up to it, and only if, bend into the right knee, grab with your right hand for the right foot behind you, and open up into the thigh. This is a really challenging and pretty advanced posture. I'm just adding it in at the end to see if your body's open enough for it, and if not, that's totally okay. Maybe take some open mouth breaths here. This is a lot of hard work. Just a few more moments in this posture or in whatever version you're in today. Wherever you are, slowly release the hand to foot grip, coming into forward fold at the top of your mat. Slowly and ever so slowly begin to have a seat. Bring your butt to the mat, feet in front of you, and then lie down onto your backs, hugging your knees into your chest. Maybe taking little circles with your lower body, relaxing some of the tension we built in the lower spine during all those back bends. Nice. Grab for the outer sides of your feet for happy baby, hugging your knees into your armpits, rocking left and right. Maybe you try straightening out one leg or the other. See how your hamstrings are feeling. And then from here, bring your feet back or release your hand to foot grip and wrap your arms around your shins. Bring your forehead to your knees. Take one big inhale here, the biggest one of class. Sip in even more air, even more. And then relax all of your limbs straight and big down onto the mat for Shavasana. You're so welcome to stay here forever and just relish in all of the work that you just put in. We spent 45 minutes of beautiful movement together. So take this moment to bring a sense of gratitude to yourself. Thank you for arriving on your mat today. Your body, your health, your heart is very grateful for this choice. And I hope your mind is too. Again, you are so welcome to stay in Shavasana and this meditative posture for as long as you would like. If you would like to steal off class with me, slowly hug your knees in and take a gentle rock and roll the length of your mat to come and have a seat. at the top of it, all together. Bring your hands to your heart. Melt your shoulders down behind your back. Shift back so your shoulders are in line with your hips. I want to thank you all for arriving here on your mat, enjoying this beautiful practice with me today. I hope you loved it as much as I did. I know your body definitely did. Let's bring your thumbs to your third eye center, the space between your eyebrows, your seat of intuition.